It's not very often that you see a team win by only kicking field goals in the NFL like we did today. We beat the Giants by kicking 7 field goals, and it must feel good to be our new kicker, Seibert, I think his name is. Can't even remember the guy's name. We've been through that many kickers. It's been bad. But he did his job, the MVP of the game today, making all of our points. And since we won, we'll start off with a little bit of positives here. The offense looks much better than last week. Like they actually can get something going. Jaden Daniels threw the ball down the field a little bit more, not a lot more, like I want to see, but a little bit more. And when it counted to, like the one long pass to Noah Brown at the very end of the game. So that was my criticism last week. That Jaden Daniels seems to, if his first read's not there, he's going to run. And he's not going to take time to throw the ball down the field, or he's just not going to take chances throwing the ball down the field. There was probably maybe 4 or so deeper passes in this game. 2 of them to Ertz over the middle. I think those were back-to-back too. So, yes, positives. The run game is still there. The run game was good last week. Brian Robinson, Eckler are going to be money for us if we can just keep getting the playmakers the ball, and I think that's what we did today, much better than we did last week. Terry was involved, and you see what happens. Even though there's a few of those passes to Terry that didn't do shit, but when you get the ball to the playmakers, look at our offense last week and then look at our offense this week. Granted, we're playing the Giants. Watching this game, if we weren't invested in watching Jaden Daniels and everything's new to us, that was been a kind of a stinker game to watch, if we're being honest here. 7 field goals, and you have to ask yourself, if Graham Gano didn't get hurt on the first play, do we win this game? To the bum-ass Giants, that's what I'm just trying to say. We look better than we did, and that's an improvement, and it's something that when in my last video I said it sucks that we have to sit here and start all over from ground ground zero, if you will, and work our way up. And as fans, we've done this so many times, and it sucks to have to sit here and go, we're gonna do this again, man. And we're not. There's nothing like pushing us to like take an escalator or something. Like we're not going faster than normal either. Like there's nothing like, there's nothing like just pushing us over the edge to make us feel that much better about it. Like we're going slow, and we are going slow. But there is progress from last game to this game. Look at our offense, defense. I don't know. There's ups and downs about the defense because the defensive line wasn't disruptive. Like where the fuck is Jonathan Allen at? These guys that we're paying a ton of money. Okay, yeah, maybe he's not getting pushed back and, he's helping stop the run. But last week, they were all over the Baker Mayfield. This game, they can't ever get to Daniel Jones. Like, Cleveland Farrell, he has 2 or 3 sacks now in 2 games. That was a guy that I was high on. I wanted to draft back in the day. But it didn't work out for him with the Raiders. And then now, he's older and stuff. He's been around a while, but he's still making a little bit of an impact. But still, these guys on the defensive line were crazy last week, and they just weren't there today like that. And I feel like if they played like they did last week, we would have killed Daniel Jones and we would have killed the Giants today. But they just weren't there, and it was like getting to the third quarter or something. I'm like, where is Jonathan Allen? Where are these guys that we've paid hella money on the defensive line? You know what I mean? And so we are still seeing the same stuff, though. And even though, like I said, it's good today to see the improvement, and hopefully we continue to see improvement over time, right? But we're still doing the same stuff. Not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. How many years have we been hearing that and seeing that? Not scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Penalties. Shooting ourselves in the foot. What do we have, 5, 6, 7 false starts or something like that? I stopped counting. It was so many. Just the same stuff. Lack of discipline. Secondary getting torched at the worst times, like third downs. They're just getting torched. So yet again, as much as I want to sit here and be positive, and there is stuff to be positive about, but as the weeks go on, and I see more and more and more, and there's constantly stuff getting better, I'll be more and more optimistic. I'll be more and more happy, right? But right now it's just like it's hard when you just seen how many false starts, and if they had Graham Gano, I don't think we win this game. You know what I mean? And they're the Giants. They're like maybe their second worst team in the league, and that's all I'm trying to say is we're bad too. We're starting from the very bottom too, and we need to rebuild this shit. But another thing this game did for me was it gave me more faith in Adam Peters, because bringing Zach Ertz here, bringing Austin Eckler here, those are some pretty big hits for us. And you can tell right now, those are going to be big for us, money for us down the line. I was really upset with Ben Sinnott or Ben Sinnott. I don't know which one you want to say. I've heard people say both, whatever. So I'm really upset that, like, that he's not one. Last game I wanted to see him out there more. And then the one time I see him out there today, it's because his name's getting called for a false start. So that's not good. But yeah, just let me get into the notes because I don't want to be here all day. I don't want to keep you guys here all day. The first drive of the game, the tempo that we had was much faster than I feel like we've been doing, and I enjoyed that. Jaden Daniels escapes a tackle and gets hit, then runs the ball again on the next play. Brian Robinson had a hell of a game too. That guy's a beast. You know, I've been a big, huge supporter of Brian Robinson, and just get him the ball, man. He just wants to run people over. He wants to get the first down. He wants to get the touchdown. He will run people over. Just give that guy the ball, and also give Austin Eckler the ball. He had some good runs and a fourth down conversion. Ben Sinnott with the false start, just talked about it. That made us settle for a field goal instead of continuing to get a touchdown, so that was even worse. More missed tackles. Yet again, secondary was bad. Tackling is poor. And how is it that we constantly have a defensive-minded head coach, and our defense sucks, and we can't tackle? How is this possible for this many years? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. More missed tackles and bad secondary let the Giants off the hook, and they score a touchdown on their first drive. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read this correctly. We gave the Giants their first touchdown on their opening drive in 27 games. 27 games. Correct me if I read that wrong. I was like, I can't believe that. The Giants haven't scored a touchdown on their opening drive of the game in 27 games. And we just let them have a touchdown on their first drive. Jaden Daniels floats the ball to Ertz where it was almost intercepted. I wanted to point this out when we drafted Jaden Daniels. One of my knocks was from watching his college stuff. When he throws the ball deep, there's a little bit of a hang and float to the ball. You seen it there on that play. The ball was almost intercepted. Like, Ertz was standing there, like, waiting, like, come on, ball, get to me so I can catch you. And it gave the defender that much time to get in there and grab that ball. So, you know, you can take it however you want. I'm just saying this is shit I seen when I was watching this stuff. And you can go back when we drafted him. I said this stuff too, that in the NFL, the ball's going to hang more than you would think. It's compared to other people, and it could be a problem. It was a problem on that play. Luckily, Zach Ertz was just manned up and got the ball back. Jaden Daniels still won't throw the ball. Then the next play, we had a designed run up the middle, which that's getting old, especially when we see what I wrote in here next. Jaden Daniels runs and gets hurt. It looks like he just got now we know it looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. But man, you know what I said in my last video, the criticism, he's not throwing the ball enough to make me feel confident that he's not going to be a guy that's just looking to run first and then throw second. Very Lamar-esque. And I know there's a lot of people like, oh, I would love to have Lamar Jackson. Yeah, it's an upgrade for us, but we're looking to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, sure, we've been down in the dumps, and it would be cool to have somebody that's like that. But in my opinion, Lamar Jackson, a guy who is going to run the ball more than throwing he's not at that level of throwing the ball. I don't want that. I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see my quarterback get hurt and just not be able to, then what? You know what I mean? We're going to play the season with Driscoll. You know what I'm saying? Brian Robinson's having a great day. I like how much we are chewing the clock. That was another when we're talking about positives here, the way that we chewed the clock in this game, I really liked. Now, we have to score touchdowns and do that too. Then we will start making it into the average and above average territory for a football team. But right now, I don't think we're there. If we were, we would be scoring some of these touchdowns instead of 7 field goals. But a huge positive from today's game is the clock management of by us running the clock down and chewing the clock and us keeping the ball. St. Juice punches out the ball for a turnover. Great play by him. Cleveland Farrell had a sack. And St. Juice, St. Juice gets he's got a hard time, and a lot of people give him shit, and I get it. And he did give up. He did give up a huge play to Malik Neighbors there at the end of the game. But I think St. Juice could be salvageable if we find somebody to play with him that's not trash. I'm not saying he's like that good, but I don't think he's as bad as people say. Is all I'm trying to say. Finally, some good further passes down the field, back to Ertz. Bobby Wagner had a pretty good game yet again. I think Bobby Wagner was looking pretty good. We look so much better on offense because we are getting the ball to playmakers and they are more involved. Jane Daniels gets sacked on a third down and we get bailed out by a bad holding call. Jane Daniels throws the ball downfield when it matters the most to Noah Brown. And Siebert went 7 for 7. He's the MVP. Not really much else to say. I mean, it's a baby step in the right direction, but we could be sitting here saying we looked worse than last week, and that's not the truth. Defense still a huge liability. Questioning where some of these guys are, like Jonathan Allen, like what his name's not called, and he's not being called for bad stuff, but it's like, dude, you're getting paid how much money, and like get Daniel Jones is all I'm saying. So, it's a positive step in the right direction, but it's just reminds you that we have a long ways to go, and we need to be patient, and we need to see what happens next week. But it's easier to be patient and see what happens next week when we win, right? When we win and the offense looks much better than last week, at least moving the ball, holding the ball, like chewing the clock, like I said, it makes it that much easier to look forward to the next game instead of like last week where you're like, man, we're not beating the Giants. I didn't think we were beating the Giants. My prediction was 21-20 Giants. I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game. And maybe the Giants win if they didn't have their kicker hurt on the first play. You know what I'm saying? But a win's win, I'll take it. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I don't want my videos to be too long. We're at 13 minutes here. So let me know what you guys think. Jaden Daniels, I still need to see him throw the ball down the field more. He did a pretty good job today, he didn't do it enough. And I see some people trying to say that our new kicker is like the truth and everything. We need to slow our roll on that too. I mean, he made 7 for 7 today, which is crazy, but I think his longest kick was 45 yards, I think, something like that. I need to see the guy kick some like 54-yarders or something before we claim this guy to be, our guy for sure. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.